Hello everybody, welcome back to Midwest Imagery. I have been getting asked a lot about these simple fixes that we're doing in post-processing. And I'm happy to oblige, but before I go into this next little lesson, I want to tell you that it's always best to get as close as you can in the camera with your exposures. There are times when I purposely underexpose shots, sunsets, sunrises, flowers, certain times if I'm doing portrait work. And the reason that we might consider doing this is so that we can have detail in all of the highlights and detail in the shadows. Just like the shot that I'm going to show you now. This is a picture of some bloodroot in shade under a canopy in one of our gardens here at the fabulous world headquarters of Midwest Imageries. So when I underexpose these images, I know, because when I shoot in RAW, that all of the information is available for me to tweak. And that's why I shoot in RAW. You can still shoot in JPEG if that's what you're doing now, but JPEG is a lossy compression, which just means that it's throwing away information that you might need to use to edit your pictures with. When you're shooting in RAW, then every pixel that's available to your camera is keeping all of that information. And when you're working on a raw image in Photoshop, the image still, the edits are attached to the image in a sidecar file, which does nothing to the original file. So the original file can be made into however many different versions of the shot you want to do. And maybe I'll show you several different ways to process the same shot for a completely different look in an upcoming episode. But for now, I want to show you a very simple technique to brighten up the color and add a little bit of pop to it. So let me get set up and I will be back in just a minute. Okay, I'm back. Here I am in Bridge, the file browser with Photoshop. And all I'm going to do is double click on this thumbnail to open it up into Photoshop. Now you can see that this is underexposed, so I'm just going to see what Photoshop thinks it's supposed to look like when I press this auto button right here. And that helps us out quite a bit. And that's going to be a good starting point, so I'm just going to click on open and open it up into Photoshop. Now we're in Photoshop, and I'm going to duplicate this background layer with the keyboard shortcut of Command J. I'm going to change this layer name to screen because I'm changing the blend mode of this layer to screen, which will brighten the image up. Okay, that's pretty bright, a little washed out, but we can lower the opacity. I'm going to lower the opacity down to about 50%. And that's a little bit better. So now I'm going to merge these two layers using the keyboard shortcut affectionately known as the claw, Shift Option Command E, and change this name of this layer to blur, because I'm going to run a blur filter on here, and I'm going to use Gaussian blur with a radius of 8 pixels. Say OK, and man does that look good, right? Awesome. It's going to look even better when I change the blend mode of this layer from normal to soft light. Look at how that pops. Check it out. Right? That looks pretty good. That looks really good. We'll zoom out so we can take a look at it. It's looking pretty good right there. I think that I am going to lower the opacity of this just a little bit. Kind of somewhere around there. And then I'm going to add another merged layer, Shift Option Command E, and we're going to sharpen this. So I'll go back up to my filter menu to Other, and I'm going to use High Pass. I'm going to give it a really high sharpening and change this blend mode from normal to soft light. Let's zoom in and see the difference that this makes. I'll turn off my sharpen. First I'll rename this sharpen, and then I'll turn off this layer. Now, we thought it looked good before. It was nice tack sharp, but we sharpened the edges of the pixels a little bit in post, and that looks pretty good. I'm going to lower the opacity just a touch, zoom out, and probably call that good. Let's take a look at the before. This is right out of Photoshop, and the after. Which one do you like better? And that's going to do it for today. Give me a couple of minutes to shut this down and I'll be right back. Okay, that was another example of how you can quickly and easily fix a shot in post-processing. Now remember, I underexposed this shot on purpose so that I can do the things to it that I was doing on screen. And I don't always underexpose my images. Generally, it's best to get them as close as you can to indicated in your camera, which then makes it where you have so much less work to do in post-processing. But there are times where I want to underexpose something to get real detail in a dramatic sky. And as we progress in our photography, you'll start to see when you might want to be able to underexpose or even overexpose. Part of the process of being a photographer is to use your vision to create the images that you want to create. And since our camera is just a tool to help us get there, then we have to figure out how to tell that tool or use that tool how we want it to make the pictures that we want to make. Okay, that's going to do it for this episode. But I want you to keep practicing. Keep asking the questions you're asking. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.